Welcome to the Delmarva Almanac. Each week we connect you to the best of Delmarva. I'm your host, Dana Kester McCabe. Dana Simson has not only been an artist from an early age, she's also been running galleries since she was a youngster.
At one point I remember I set up my parents' honeymoon tent and hung up all my drawings in it and had a gallery open. I think I was like 8. So that's pretty funny. Now that in retrospect, here I am still with my tent, and I just always loved sitting there and going into my mind and emptying my mind out on paper, and it was just very joyful. And I think that it's very important, probably in my development, because that was just like practicing like the scales, as if I was going to play an instrument. And so I just continued to stretch my imagination and hone my craft and skills, and all these years later, it's still that much fun.
Dana went to Syracuse University and then did a work-study program in Florence, Italy.
By the time I left Italy, I was literally dreaming in Italian, and it was wonderful. It was just, the food. I began work for 2 women who wanted to make ceramic household items, and we rode to their villa in Susanna's Alfa Romeo, and then we made lunch for 2 hours every day, and then I did ceramics. It was quite idyllic, which is why I didn't come back right away. But then, I eventually did and traveled around a little bit. But every time, pretty much what I do constantly is keep my eyes wide open and take in things, everything from the design of buildings, to beautiful trees or, whatever. Like, I just feel like art and design is everywhere, and I'm constantly inspired by it. So it fills the vessel.
Dana produces works in a variety of disciplines. She's a painter, a potter, a jewelry maker, and a children's book author. All of these are approached with a light heart. Animals are sometimes dressed like people. The colors are cheery. There's a sense of whimsy about all of her work, though it is not necessarily the word she prefers.
What I am is an illustrator. That's actually what I went to school for. Because I really, really like to tell a story with my art, whether it's a ceramic piece, or whether I'm writing a book, or if I'm doing a painting. I want people to look at it and say, what is the story? And I want their little wheels to begin turning, and perhaps they'll think a little bit about the before and the after of this moment, and then they go into it, so then they can interact with it. And that's always been kind of where I'm coming from. And I love nature. So I'm always inspired by nature. And for many years, I barely did anything with people. I would prefer to just use animals because they're not really gender or race specific. And I really want people to insert themselves into whatever they see and be there with it. A production potter is someone who's going to make the same mug 50 times, and it's going to deviate slightly just because it's handmade. But if you're making kind of one-of-a-kind pieces, you put thought and effort into each piece, and you don't necessarily ever make it again. You might make something somewhat similar, but you're not being a machine. You're being someone who's thinking and creating a piece. So pretty much when I'm going towards a project, there'll be all kinds of things that I pull in from various areas, and I mix them in a bowl, and then it begins to manifest itself. Sometimes in a variety of media, and then I bring it all together.
Dana has seen great success with licensed products bearing her designs and illustrations, but preventing her work from being pirated both in the U.S. and overseas has been impossible. These were often produced at an inferior quality, so Dana has shifted her focus back to her own handcrafted productions.
So it's really important to me as an artist to always produce top-notch quality work. But at a certain point, when my agents were trying to build me up as some kind of an iconic person, I was very uncomfortable with that. So I thought to myself, now hold on. I live right where I want to live. I'm very happy when I'm home. I love being with my kids. Do I really want to fly around and present myself as some big, important person. Not really, because that's just not who I am. So I just sort of backed away from all that. And you know, a lot of people run on that little trail, and at the end of it, what they want is they want a beautiful house in a beautiful place in this lovely kind of lifestyle that's very simple or whatever. Or maybe they want fame. I don't know, but I don't want that. And see, I have that, so that's good. I'm already there. So it's all good.
Dana also opens up her studio for classes.
Any given day of the week, I have about 4 pots in the air. So right now, the latest thing I'm doing, which is super fun, is I'm doing Friday night clay studio. People have always been badgering me for years, and I'm like, all right. Well, it's just great fun. So now I enjoy it, and the few people that initially came, we're going into our 2nd month, keep coming, and so it's building. But each Friday we make something, we make a project, I take them through, I show them how to do it. It's pretty simple, you know, and at the end of it they have something they made.
Dana will have a show in Baltimore in May and work at the Station Gallery in Wilmington, Delaware. Her website is danasimson.com. But the best way to see her work is to stop by Chesapeake East on West Main Street in Salisbury. Well, that's all for this edition of the Delmarva Almanac. Be sure to follow us on Facebook or Twitter, and next week join us to learn more about our local culture and get connected to our natural wonders. If you'd like to become an underwriter for this program, visit delmarvaalmanac.com/support. We'd like to thank our community partners, the Friends of Delmarva Public Radio, the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, and underwriters eatdrinkbuyart.com for their help in bringing this program to you, our audience. Our theme music was provided by Brightside Studio. This show has been a Moonshell production. Thanks for listening. Until we meet again, may the rhythms and tides of Delmarva bring you good fortune.